you don't know, it's George Redeem, and I'm here. We and our Thursday night at Topic Live producer, none other than Altia Marie. Yes, we are here with a beautiful set of couple, and we are giving God thanks and praise before the introduction and all of them thing there. Tonight is the night you need to let everybody know. I've been telling you before that you need to tell all the broken hearted and the this or come. I want to find one of colors word and can't find it, but let me not bite my tongue tonight. Yeah, but a lot of people think that divorce have to end up into a gun battle, a knife battle, a fight battle. A lot of people think that a stepchild can't be raised by step parents, and all of these things. It's all kind of trust issue, and those are the things tearing down society and the world. You see what I'm saying? That is why it's like it's inborn, because mommy and daddy walk that path. I have to walk that path. Tonight is going to be very informative, and from these people testimony, you're now going to understand that you have to analyze, rethink, and reroute and come again with your life. You see what I'm saying? So you need to get everybody on. Let them know what I want, pantapa what I want. Get your popcorn ready, get your juice ready, get your coffee ready. Yes, and for those of you who just are running from work, get your food ready. But tonight, you don't want to miss tonight. Nothing is said here tonight on Thursday night at Topic Live. You must hold, what should I say now? Let me find the right context to put of it. It is our own view. We're speaking from our own perspective. We're speaking from our own passion. Yes. So whatever we said tonight, don't take it as laws. Yes. Just know we're here trying to build life, fix family, and let marriage be what marriage is supposed to be. Yes. So with all that said, I'm going to turn over to Althea Marie. And she going to do the ones and twos, and then the introduction. Yes, I mean, we have two couple. Look how they look rich. Papa Jesus. Boy, me jealous. Me don't know about you. Me don't know about you, Althea. Me feel lonely. Sit down right there. So when me look on them two couple there. Papa Jesus. And the two of them sitting perfect, you know. Yes, the two men on the same side and the ladies on the same side. I am learning. Already the learning process start. You see the levels, boy, me I tell you, watch Alicia, me here right now, me can't read lips. She say, oh, papi, I love you, papi. And watch, watch Mrs. Kirchman, no? She are trying to move her lip, and I said, Darren, think you talk, because I'm hold you tonight. Let me stop troubling people about turn over to Althea Marie.
All right. Good evening, world, and welcome to this edition of our Thursday night Hot Topics Live. It has been well overdue. You've been waiting. I have been waiting. I don't think you've been waiting as long as me. I've been waiting since early 2020. Yes, and finally it has happened. Should have been happened, a few weeks now, but some situation arise that, did not allow it to happen, and we do apologize for the inconvenience. But guess what? We're here tonight in living colors. Yes. And as Mr. Redeem say, get your popcorn, get everything ready, because guess what? You're in for a treat tonight. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot going on in relationships, but guess what? When you have people who can overcome the odds and, move on in peace, in unity, still be friends, still have mutual respect for each other, family all getting along, well together, it is an amazing thing. And we give God thanks for that. Yes. So as Mr. Redeem say, before we get into the introduction, we're just gonna do our theme song tonight. Sorry about the little bit of a late start there, but we're just gonna do the theme song, get it out the way, and then we get in the meat of the matter.
Ships, minutes of a day to guide from the bottomless pit but my aim was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help the sing these songs of freedom? That's all I ever am. Redemption song, redemption song. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. I've no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. Allah shall kill our prophets while we stand aside and look. Some say it's just a part of it. We got to fulfill the book. Won't you help us sing these songs of freedom? That's all I ever had. Redemption song, redemption song, redemption song. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Whoa, I've no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop off the time. Allah shall kill our prophets while we stand aside and look. Some say it's just a part of it. We got to fulfill the book. Won't you help us sing these songs of freedom? That's all I ever had. Redemption song, all I ever had. Redemption song, songs of freedom, songs of freedom.
Right, that's a wheel and come again, pull up it up, selector, DJ Colors. Yes, yes, to the levels. Yes, CC, that is. Why we choose that to be our theme song? Because Thursday night at Topic Live is where we discuss real issues that some normal Christians and pastors don't want to talk about. Yes, we have covered some topic already on homosexuality and masturbation. We have covered some topics. We have some deep topics that you don't normally hear the church talking on. And tonight is one of those where a lot of people need to emancipate themselves from mental slavery. And we only think of slavery as a Bakra master, a beat you over our back. But some of us enslave ourselves mentally with one condition of life, a way of life, and how we live, and how we see our parents live, and that's the way we have to live. We don't think out of the box. We don't think we can set our own trend. We don't think we can blaze our own path, and that our children come and live a curse-free life. Yes, it is the appropriate song to use because it fits any topic we discuss tonight. And tonight is one of those topics. We want you all to be comfortable, right? It is your life. It is your testimony. It is what you're going to share. A lot of marriages out there damaged. A lot of marriages out there would like to learn from your mistakes. A lot of marriages out there, I mean, trust me, it can work. It's supposed to work. But because nobody not talking about their experience who have gone before, then those who are now in it don't know how to live it. You see what I'm saying? It is like an I wouldn't even say an epidemic. It is worse than that, right? I mean, the things that goes on in marriages. And before we get in anything, we just want to allow, it's an introduction. You can just take a minute, introduce yourself and your spouse can say hi. Whoever is the extrovert will have to do most of the talking. I understand that. And the introvert just want to look pretty, handsome, and smile. It's the levels, we do understand that. At first, we'll start with my dear sister Alicia Beaton, yes, and it's not just Alicia Beaton, she's Evangelist Alicia and Pastor Anthony Beaton. So I'm going to ask, we'll start first with them, Pastor Anthony Beaton and Alicia, Evangelist Alicia Beaton, as they introduce themselves, and just take a minute or two, and ones and twos. Yes, over to the Beatons.
My name is Pastor Beaton, and this is my wife, Evangelist Alicia Beaton.
Go on.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Good night. My name is, like my husband mentioned, Evangelist Beaton. This is Pastor Beaton. It's a pleasure to have this topic tonight. Before we came on, my husband was saying to me that you think I'm the most powerful woman in the world. And I asked him, why would he say that? He said, because you're actually having your ex and your husband and your ex-wife and yourself on a show. And I said to him, sometimes we go through things in life and we just hold it to ourselves, and somebody else out there can learn from our experience and better their life, or even come out of a situation that they're in. So, it's a privilege to be here tonight, especially on this important topic. It's very important to me, this topic, very, very important.
Amen. And that is so true. I'm telling you something before I introduce Uncle Darren and his beautiful wife. It is amazing. I cannot think of my 47 years on planet Earth. Hear a mother so comfortable talk about a stepmother and her child. I'm being honest. And I want to say to your wife, Darren, even before she introduced herself, I want to say to her, thanks for being the woman that you are. Yeah, because Jerry is my nephew, right? And as much as sometimes he talk faster than I can listen. Yeah, I don't know how he talks so fast. He get it from him daddy, right? They talk real fast. You have to listen good to catch them. It's just blessed my heart to hear Alicia say, Evangelist Alicia said, you know what? His stepmom and I, we correspond, we dialogue, we talk. You don't normally get that. Yeah. And that is to show people that this nonsense, what they think because you're divorced and you're married to somebody's ex, you have to be in battlefield and you have to wear your armor suit, and it's nonsense, and we need to stop it, right? It's full time. We understand that the in-laws go so far and no further. It's full time. It's a wide topic, and tonight I just gonna sit back, relax, me not popcorn to eat. Yeah, me might get some water to drink. Something, and just enjoy. So at this time, I'm gonna introduce Dan. I'm gonna turn over to Mr. Darren Kirchman, and he would introduce himself and his beautiful wife.
Good night, everybody. My name is Darren Kirchman. This is my lovely wife. Her name is Mariana Familia Kirchman, and we are from the Cayman Islands. I am the ex-husband of Alicia Beaton, and this is my present wife.
Hi, I am Mariana. I'm from Dominican Republic. I'm Spanish. My English is really, really good.
Okay, you Spanish.
Yes.
Okay. So I can imagine you're teaching Darren Spanish in all ways. Just
talking Spanish with somebody, and I'm just close to him, and he called me the phone because he don't understand everything.
But I love your name though, Mariana.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I love that name. I love that name. I think if I'm gonna get a daughter next week, I'm gonna name her that name. Yes. If I'm gonna get a daughter next week, I'm gonna name her that name. Yes, and I love it. Now we're about to get started. We're about to get started, and I really want this to direct as you all introduce yourself. I mean, when Alicia says, she's here with her ex-husband, and her ex-husband said he's here. He's the ex-husband of Alicia. The reason why we think this tonight is important is just for that scenario. Why? A lot of people, after they end up in divorce, they don't talk with each other. They malice each other. It's a rift. And I remember we had Alicia on Thursday night at Topic Live sometime last year or year before last. And she was telling the world that, oh, she's blessed to have a husband that trusts her, right? Because if he didn't trust her, she was still living in the house with her ex-husband. And a lot of people raise their eyebrow. Some of them I could almost hear them mind and all of that. And I have to step in and tell them that, listen, I have been to the Cayman Islands. I've been to that house, and I've seen how these people respect each other in the home, right? And I've been there with Mr. Beaton, and I don't see Darren running him down. I hear him run down Darren, right? And, I don't see Darren, wife to be at the time, stepping up to Alicia and speak Spanish and all of them things there. It's just one big happy family. The way Alicia cares for her ex-husband and all of these things. And it just amazes me staying there watching them living the life that they're living. A lot of people don't think it is possible. You hear our Thursday night live producer said it. Nobody anticipated this time but her. Yeah, because she was one of them when Evangelist Alicia was talking. She put her to on her jaw because she couldn't believe what she was hearing. Yes, she appear, Yeah, it's all of them things there. Now, she is a divorcee too. I am on my second marriage, right? So all of us have a story to tell. Yeah, and it's full-time people like us step out and let people understand that reality is reality. Yeah, nobody not perfect. We all make mistakes, and some of us mistake cause us to end up in a divorce and all of that. Some of us can iron out our mistakes and move on and learn from it and live a successful married life, right? So I'm gonna turn over to let me first start with the Beaton, because Alicia, when she said at the time, I mean, the world that was watching went silent. You drop a pin, you hear it. I want to throw in a few questions to begin with. I know you guys will have to back up and give us an insight of when you were married, when you think it started breaking down, when it reached a place of no repair, and all of these things, and you come to a common ground where you can strike a balance to say, we can be under the same roof, respect each other, and whoever we attach to now can know that we can be trusted and come to respect. Because I know Mr. Beaton respect Darren, and I know Darren respect Mr. Beaton. I know Alicia's respect Malia. I'm going to say your name till I get it right. Yeah. And I know that Madam Spanish respect Alicia. Why? Tonight speak for itself. Tonight speak for itself. They are here. And apart from tonight, I've been around them. So I know what it is like. So we want to know. We're first talking to the exes. Give us an insight, because a lot of people married right now watching us. They don't know what red flag to look for. They don't know what sign is the ultimate danger sign. They don't know when to throw in the towel and to sympathize or what. They don't understand none of that. You all have been there. I've been there. Yes, I've been there. I was married 1995. right? Yeah, I was 21 years of age. And I thought that I would be living a honeymoon life all now. Yeah, nobody couldn't tell me nothing. You see, I'm living honeymoon right through. You see what I'm saying? And then bam, so out of the blue, things happen, and I end up divorced with 2 children. Yeah, people stigmatize, people say all kind of thing, but I know why we end up into divorce. It took me 20 years to talk about my divorce, really. Yeah, so I'm saying to people that no marriage is perfect, but the both of you conquer an area in divorce that people still trying to come up with a formula. Yeah. So I don't know who want to take it first into the insight of the Kirchman before the divorce. All right, Manco Fall and Alicia.
I know everybody's going to call on Alicia, so I take the forefront first. Well, you know, Journal, I was young at the time when I met Mr. Kirchman. I think younger than your age. I was younger than your age when I met Mr. Kirchman. Yeah, I was younger than 21 when you got married. Yes, yes. You're mute.
I thought you were saying you was younger than 47.
No. I was younger than when you got married. When I met Mr. Kirchman. At the time, you know, when you now meet, put it this way, I would say your first serious relationship where you're thinking, okay, you're serving God and it's time for you to settle down and get married. And, you know, at that time I met Mr. Kirchman when I gave my life to God. And I decided at the time, I'm not going to do a live home. I'm not going to commit fornication. You know, I put those things out there, and we decided that it's something that both of us wanted to do, get married, you know, when we start dating. So we just got married. I think 6 months after we dated, or a year. I think either 6 months or a year. I can't even remember at that time, but we got married. I moved to the Cayman Islands. And we started our life. You know, life was going nice. You know, like you say, you always thought that the honeymoon would have lasted forever, but the honeymoon don't last forever. When you reach into reality, you know, that's when you really have to sit back and say, hey, this is not a game. You know, you're there. You're a wife. You know, I was already a mother at the time, so I knew how to be a mother. But did I know how to be a wife? No, because like I say, before I got married, I lay out everything, all my do's and don'ts. And that is so important when you're getting in, when 2 persons are joining their life together. Each other know your do's and your don'ts. Because if you don't, you know, when you get into marriage, it's like you're telling yourself, okay, you never mentioned this to me, you never mentioned that to me. So I was very straightforward. And Mr. Kirchman accept my do's and my don'ts. 2 years down the line, then he's saying to me, oh, can you iron a shirt for me? And I'm like, dude, that was one of my don'ts. So why are you asking me to do one of my don'ts? And I always say, if you ever ask me to iron a shirt for you, I am going to divorce you, because that means that I'm doing something that I already tell you that I'm not going to do. So and I'm serious. I just don't like ironing. So I said to him, dude, at that time, I just used to say, dude, you know, you're young. So I said, dude, don't ask me to iron your clothes, because that's one of my don'ts. So just don't ask, you know. And we started to joke around about it. Life still goes on. I think the pressure came into our marriage when we started to listen to family members, in terms like in-laws, like pressuring you, oh, you have to make a child, you have to do this, you have to do that. we were happy all the time. But anytime you invite a third party other than God into your marriage, that's where your breakdown started to come. You know, when you start listening to everybody singing in your ears what they want you to do and not what you're supposed to do as an individual, then, you know, the breakdown of the marriage started to happen. And I think at one point in time, I know because we discussed it, one point in time, he started to get frustrated, but then it was started to get frustrated for him, but not for me at that time, because one of my don't was I didn't want any more children, and you accept that before we get married. But then 2 years into the marriage, when family start to put the pressure on, instead of you saying to them, listen, we had that talk before we got married. So I am not going to pressure her into having a child for me. You know, I think that was the best thing for him to do at the time. Let them know that that was a discussion up front, but he didn't. At the time, I thought he gave them the impression that I just didn't want to have a child for him, which he know that wasn't true. At the time, I wasn't ready to have any more children because I was a single mom before I met him. You know, so having another child as soon as they get married, it's very hard. It put a lot of pressure on your relationship itself. So the pressure was coming on. You want me iron clothes, you want me get children. That's 2 on my don't list. You're pressuring me already after 2 years of marriage. So, you know, I started to looking into things and I said to myself, you know, whatever. At the time when the family started the pressure, what they didn't know that myself and him was going through a hurt, that I had a miscarriage and I was going through that hurt and I had to deal with it. Did we get a chance to deal with it our way? I don't think so. We never get a chance because, like I say, they just put the pressure there. And it so happened that God blessed us with a child, thinking that, you know what, okay, through my pregnancy, everything is going to be all right. They still wasn't, it's a satisfaction, still wasn't satisfied with anything. So we just decided that, you know what, we're going to live our life. I used to pray every morning, and I used to pray for at that time, my husband. And I find that I started to slip away because what I was more focused on was my relationship with a man than my relationship with God. And that's where I think the breakdown started. Everything just started to go downhill from there. When I started to focus more on my relationship with my husband at the time and not totally forget about God. And in my marriage with Mr. Kirchman, I would say I was absent from church 10 years, 10 long years. Yes. Because 10 years. And that's what people don't understand, that if you have a marriage or anything that you put out to do, if you don't have God in the center, listen, it's gonna have a breakdown. So, with adding not having, before you married, God was there. When you got married, God wasn't there anymore. After 2-3 years of marriage, you just keeping your focus one place, things start to happen, infidelity started, we fix back our marriage. And then, like I say, as long as infidelity start, you bring in the devil more into your marriage. I am already not in church anymore. So infidelity come in a marriage, then, the devil is there. So it's double trouble was on my head. And at the time, instead of me start praying, I think I started to ask God too much a question that wasn't important at the time. I go to God asking him, why this happened to me? Why that happened to me? Instead of I saying, well, God, what, forgive me. I, start to accept or stand some sort of responsibility. Because if you give up God for a man, we all know what the Bible says, So instead of me going to God in a nice way, I went to God with all my hurt and everything I start put on the table. I'm so kind, I'm so nice, I'm so this. But what we don't realize, we can be everything. But if we don't give God thanks, if we don't pray, if we don't invite him in our present, then listen, being nice, being kind does not count. And that's what I had to learn to do. So within the height of the breakdown, I decided that, you know what, I just don't want to be there, because if I'm there, at the time I didn't have his support when it comes to prayer and worship and anything. So at one point in time, after I think 7 or 8 years, I said to him, this is a breakdown. I am out, because I realized that I needed to save me, because I started to go into not want to eat, or if I decide to eat, I'm gonna just, when I tell you eat, like get really bad in eating, like use food as a avenue to keep my pain inside. And at the time, I never discussed this with anybody, no family member. When me and Mr. Kirchman got divorced, like my whole family was like, what? When? You know, what was the problem? Because we never discuss anything with anybody. When we go out, we laugh, we talk, we do everything as a couple. Except when we go back into the house, he gone one room and I gone one room. That's how we live, you know? So at the time, I said to him, I don't want to do this. We have a child and we have to think about when we separate, how we're going to cope as living in 2 different households and having a child, because Jeremiah and his father have a great relationship. They're very close. And I did not want to break that bond, because, you know, our marriage is going through problem, because when you do something like that, it affects a child when you just throw that on them. So at the time when we sit down and we talk about divorce and you know, separation and everything, I say to him, I am not looking to date back anybody at the time, but what I am going to do is stay in the house with Jerry so we can be a family, but not, put it this way, not husband and wife, but still a family. And I said to him, when you decide that you want to date somebody, that's fine. As long as you don't bring them to the home to disrespect me, I don't have a problem with that. But then anybody you're dating or you're getting into a relationship, be honest with them with the situation that we're in. So when I meet Mr. Beaton, I explain everything to Mr. Beaton, same do's and don'ts. And I also explain my situation. Sorry, I like my do's and don'ts. Don't get me wrong, I like them. I'm not gonna leave it out. So I explain my do's and don'ts, and I let him know, you know, things that I like, things that I don't like. Same ironing clothes, I don't want no more children. I went through the whole line, cleaning bathroom, everything. And he said to me, it's not about your do's and don'ts. I know you from, you know, and I like you. Let us try. You know, we both single. And I said to him at the time, I am single, but I'm still living in the house with my ex because of my son, and my child is more important than anything at the time. That's what I said to Mr. Beaton. And I asked him, I said, can you handle that? And he said, yes. And we just decided, okay, that's how we're gonna live until myself and Mr. Beaton decide we're gonna get married. Because like I say, they committing adultery, fornication, and so on. And at least you don't do live home either. Because whatever you accept from the beginning, you can't change a situation when you get in. So if you accept live home from the beginning, you can't ask a man to get married when you move in. No, you do the marriage first before you move in. Because the level of respect you give yourself as an individual, that's the level of respect that that person is going to give you. So I set a standard there before I even think about, you know, saying, okay, let's live home or let's get together or whatever. I let him know what I would do from what I wouldn't do. And he accepted the situation. I had to sit down with my son and let him know, you know, daddy and mommy, you know, we're not together like in together, but we still, because of you, We still have to co-parent, and we love you that much, and so on. At the first, when I said it to him, he was very emotional, like for like a day. Because he thought, when you're saying to an 8-year-old or a 7-year-old, okay, mommy and daddy is not together, you know, we're gonna live separate life. He's thinking, okay, all I know is mommy and daddy. Now, going through the separation, he's thinking now that I'm not gonna know my dad no more, or I'm not gonna know my mom, because either one I'll have to live with. So I had to explain everything to him. It's not gonna happen like that. If your dad married back, trust me, we're gonna have a good relationship. So at a 7 and 8-year-old, you sit down and you have to have those conversations and make sure that they're comfortable with the decision that you're gonna be making. And that's exactly what I did. Like I said, he was very uncomfortable for a day with it. And then when he realized, no, I'm not losing my daddy, I'm not losing my mommy, but I'm gonna be gaining another female in my life and also another male as a role model. And then when it happened, it was kind of shocking to everybody that, you know what, myself and Darren's wife is actually getting along, and Anthony and Darren is actually getting along. But I say, if I have to live my life now, listening to everybody, I would not have a relationship with Darren. I would not have a relationship with his wife, because everybody give me a negative on it. Like, you know, how you can do that and he hurt you. Listen, we both hurt each other. I may not hurt him in infidelity, but you know what? I can sit here as a woman and admit that, you know what, instead of supporting or helping him through that time, I just didn't want to hear anything at the time. Because for me, when you step out, that's it. You just step out. That's it.
I mean, trust me, it is going great so far. It is going great so far. But I saw somebody here says me too. Patricia Christopher, when you say that you went in with the do's and the don'ts, and a part of it is not to do ironing and all of these things. No. This is where I think our foreparents failed us. This is where I think the older folks failed us. The fact that you step into a marriage, anybody at all, with certain do's and don'ts, the do's and don'ts must be, we're not going to be the infidelity thing not going to happen. We're not going to give siblings any more respect than the marriage, or we're not going to allow any third party to step in and disrespect any party in the marriage. Those are the do's and don'ts. But where the household and the family come together, them kind of do's and don'ts, that is the biggest recipe for a divorce. Because I'm going to tell you this. Even the billionaire in the who have 10 and 15 butlers and maids and servants and all of that, when the spouse does certain things for them, it is so special, right? And what people don't teach us is that marriage comes with responsibility, not just sex, not just children, not just a roof over the head, not just money in the bank. It comes with responsibility, household, marital whole responsibility. So here what? I have my chores, you have your chores. And the masculine thing is for me. So I don't expect you to go outside and mow the lawn, although it looks sexy when a woman do it. Trust me. I don't expect you to go outside, you take the fork and plow up the potato and them thing there. I don't expect you to go outside, go run the cow bush and all of them stuff there. I mean, I don't expect that. But when it comes to the inner side of the house, the interior.
But I can remember it when I was married to Darren, he asked me to come outside and help in the garden. And I look at him and I say, I'm not a farmer's wife. Like literally, I am not a farmer's wife. And Like I say, I still hold that. I am not a farmer's wife. I don't care.
One of the sexiest thing in anybody's marriage. I mean, I had an ex-girlfriend once, right? Her name is Lisa, right? Not Alisa, her name is Lisa. And whenever I'm outside house, them time I had a house down in a place called Mommy Bay, Senton, nice garden, everything. I used to just love go out there on a Saturday and all of this. I mean, I never yet asked her, but you know what used to make me feel good? When I'm out there mowing the lawn, right? She used to just come out there and grab a rake. We don't have no need for it. I have no need for it because we have somebody who mow lawn and somebody who rake up and somebody who do all of that. But ever so often I will just go there and take the lawnmower and just bust a sweat. I'll never forget it, even when I go to my grave. Hello, Rochelle not there, right?
Oh yeah, she's here.
I will never forget her for that. You see them little thing, if I outside painting, she would just come up there and all when she know she can't paint, she just dip a brush in something and all when she have that a bit wrong. You see what I'm saying? But the fact that I'm out there and she just come partake, it's a breath of fresh air.
No, the painting, right? He can tell you the whole house, I would paint the whole house. There are certain things I don't mind doing, but you got to understand something. I grew up with my dad, and my dad had rice acres upon acres, farm upon farm. At the time, we didn't have a choice as children. We have to do it. So I decided that when I become 18, then nobody telling me things that I have to do anymore.
Your husband have to be the price for your daddy, right?
So things that I didn't like when I was younger, when I get older, I decided not to do it. But you got to understand something, Journelle. If I hide it before I get into the marriage, it's different. But if I tell you up front and you say it to me, you know, that's not a problem. I can iron. I like ironing, or I like doing this. No problem. I'll cook.
No, but you must understand. You must understand. You have a thing called ideal and you have a thing called reality, right? And you have a thing called unrealistic expectation, unrealistic agreement, unrealistic understanding at times.
No,
but when
at
you
the time,
get to the reality.
Mr. Kirchman, at the time, I think that he see a beautiful young lady. He didn't mind the don'ts because he's thinking, okay, in my head, that if I accept.
Okay, Sister Alicia, sorry, let me just butt in just a little bit. I apologize for disappearing so long earlier. I had a noise situation with the neighbor that I had to take care of, and I really could not be on.
1 second to while you talk. Continue.
Yes. So, but I understand when you were younger, right? And you made your do's and your don't list. And it seemed as if once you did your do's and your don'ts, there was absolutely no compromising. I don't like it. And that's ground for divorce. You ask one time and the red flag is out. But after that, I mean, this is your second marriage, but you still have your do's and your don'ts.
Do I
with
still have
ironing and certain things.
I think you should ask Mr. Beaton if I have those do's and don'ts still.
Oh, I thought you said that not too long ago.
No. I want him to clarify it, you know.
Yes, she has the do's and don'ts.
And I kid you not, Mr. Beaton, don't ask me to iron, because I tell him already, the day you ask me to iron, pops, listen, the D word is right there, but that's disaster.
To be honest with you, I'm an iron freak. I must say, anything I just iron and just wear.
He ironed every piece of clothes, so totally fine.
So I guess it works well for you because he's a ironing freak and you don't like iron periods. So God sent you somebody who wouldn't mind you not ironing.
Iron this, Mr. Beaton, please. Iron this for me, please.
If someone, just 1 second, if you're just joining us tonight, I know there are some folks over on YouTube. There are some folks watching live on Facebook. We're speaking tonight about hurting wives and broken husband. We have 2 couples here, and Alicia, who is now currently married to Mr. Beaton. She was married to Mr. Kirchman, and they're all having wonderful relationships. And that is such a wonderful flavor. It's a wonderful thing, because many people, after brokenness in their relationship, they cannot get along. Children are involved, relationship are torn, children are torn. I know I can speak for myself with my children. One was like, about 2.5 months or a month and a half when we actually decided to separate, and one was like just over 2 years old. So they were very, very young. So they didn't have full understanding of what was going on. So for your child who was older, I understand where there are more questions, where there's more hurt concerning the child, but both of you came to the agreement where you would live in the same household, not having a relationship as a marital spousal relationship, but you're there living in the same place for the sake of your child. And that's very admirable that both of you were able to come to such an agreement just for your child. More admirable was Mr. Beaton when he came in the picture, that he agreed that that was okay. I mean, some brothers, especially from back home, Jamaica, they're not going to stand for that, because they're going to say, no way is there, whether it be fiance or, you know, because you weren't married as yet, living under the same roof with an ex. They're not going to agree to that. So the fact that, sir, you could say, yes, that is okay, hats off to you for that. One question on that, though, there must have been some kind of a stigma, because say, for example, especially after you got married, if anybody out there knowing that you're living in this household with somebody else, I mean, do you find yourself have to explain anything, or it was not an issue?
You know, for people, it was an issue, because like I say, everybody think that if you're divorced, or if you are separate from your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, it have to end bitter. One of the things that I said to myself, do I want to live with bitterness inside of me? I'm not going to be doing anybody anything but myself, because we all know that bitterness comes with hurt. It comes with anxiety, it comes with stress. It brings on so much things inside, and then it starts to show on the outside. So one of my things was, do I want to hold on to this bitterness, or do I just want, or hold on to the hurt or the anger? No, I didn't want to live my life like that. And also, like I said, the number one thing in my life that was more important to me when I made that decision was my son. I wasn't even thinking about myself. I could have stayed until in that situation until Jeremiah reached 18. That's fine with me. I could have done that because he was important. His feelings was important to me. At the time, it wasn't about me or Mr. Kirchman at that time. It was just about my son. So when people ask, I just say to them, okay, where the bitterness comes in when a divorce come along. How can you say you love somebody for so much years, but yet still, if you can't stay together, this anger and this bitterness and all this hurt and all this down trashing each other and everything just come in. Where does that come from? You know, and for me, it was more important having a relationship with Darren than to stay angry or stay bitter at him because of my son, because we're asking our children to do one thing, but then we as adults doing something totally different. So when my son see that me and my ex-husband living like cat and dog, I don't expect him to get into a relationship and be nice and be, you know, be kind to the young lady. You know, I expect him, you know, to be just the way he saw myself and his father living, angry at each other, upset with each other. So I had to make a choice. What do I want to do? I can do better or I can do worse. And I choose to do better. So at the time when anybody asked, I think at the time it wasn't, you know, like I say, if I have to listen to people, I would have been angry, upset, anxiety, everything would have been there. And I still wouldn't have met this lovely young man. No, because you know what? I would have thinking in my head, listen, I do everything right. So I thank God that I didn't hold on to those things. You know, so that's how I take it. I wasn't living anymore to please anybody and what anybody think. I was just living to make sure that my child was okay. And then the person that I was talking to at the time was fine. I didn't hear anything about anybody anymore.
Understood. Understood. Over by YouTube, just 1 second. Over by YouTube, we have SC saying, agreed that bitterness and anger is not good to hold on to. We also have Gracelyn is saying that she's divorced, not bitter with him, but he had better stay in his corner.
Gracelyn,
I know.
Gracelyn is Alicia's mother.
I know.
That's exactly what I said to Mr. Kirchman at the time. Listen, we're going through divorce. You stay in your side, I stay on my side. And if during the night you have a problem, you can jump in your vehicle and go fix your problem, or you can stay in your bedroom and you fix it yourself. But make sure you don't come knocking on my door, because that's it.
I wonder what kind of problem that? Anyway, leave that for ice cream time.
You know.
Right? But what I'm saying is this from the onset, you know, we're going to have to do a part two of this thing, because we want to.
I was thinking the same thing, Mr. Redeem, this need a follow-up of part two. But here's the ironic thing, Mr. Kirchman, they sign in as missions and disaster management. That to normal people, it would sound like a disaster, right? But you know how to manage it well.
No, I think you guys need to give Mr. Kirchman a chance to
No,
say.
yeah, we're going there. Because that's what I'm just saying. We want you and him first to talk before we talk to the two new spouse, right? And then we're going to come and clear up some things, because there are a lot of people enter marriage with unrealistic expectations, right? And they try to live it, right? Marriage is hard work.
I have one question. If like we're good friends, we're brothers and sisters, like everybody know the relationship that we have. And if you say something to me, I expect you to hold your word. It's no different. But it's no different. And that is why in a relationship you have compromise. Listen, don't mind, Mr. Kirchman got a lot of do's and don'ts either. But he never mentioned those do's and don'ts before the marriage. So when I get in, I was kind of shocked that, you know what, dude, you never mentioned your do's and don'ts. So why now you're bringing do's and don'ts? So at the time, we compromised on those do's and don'ts. But like I said, the do's and the don'ts did not cause the problem of the marriage. It's just that when he started to ask, the question or the favors, I brought him back to the time before.
Iron in.
Yes. Like, don't ask.
In the Caribbean, all people Bible have a verse. Said it comes from, you have to be very old, chapter 3, verse 19. The pig said to his mother, "Why your mouth so long?" And she turned to the piglet and said, "You're getting older. You will understand why." Yeah, you know what that is to say? Mm-hmm. I can say yes and make you promises, not knowing really what me I say. I'm just buck up on this beauty, this sexy, and this loving, and I think say honeymoon ever after. So I'm gonna say yes to everything. It's not a trick. It's not a lie.
It's just a trick, and it is a lie if you don't answer it. That's
No.
how I
No.
think principle
No.
is principle. And I think if he agreed to it, then you should not. And that's where you have a breakdown in a lot of relationships. Because people
That's why insurance.
promise.
That's why insurance company become such billionaire companies, because you see, we only think about what meet the eye with insurance. Oh my God, I pay $100 a month and then I'm gonna be getting $10 million. We don't look at the fine prints. We don't look at the fine prints to realize we sign it, we pay this $100. But how much of us can say we truly read our insurance contract and understand it before we sign it? In fact, them not guarantee you sign up, right? And it's when something happened and you got to make a claim, and here so there is some fine clause to say that you are not eligible for the claim. You know how God put it? Me go give you a chance. You know what God said about that? God said that he laughed at our ignorance. That's what I'm saying now. Boy, I'm going to serve Jesus. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to steal. I'm going to be holy every day of my life. I'm going to be the next angel. I'm going to just laugh at that. Because he knows it. Down the road, we're about to talk.
But the thing
So
is,
you cannot.
I had my insurance policy was my word. He didn't have to read the fine print. I let him know up front, dude, if you get in an accident, this is what's going to happen. So, you know, he had all the fine print, wasn't given to him to read. He actually had it word for word, you know, and if you agree to something and then you want to change your mind on it, you had ample time to say, is this the marriage I want to get into? Is this what I want to do? My mom would tell you, listen, if I tell you I'm not doing something, let me tell you something. Anybody can come and change my mind is Jesus. And listen, my mom would tell you.
Not going to.
If?
Jesus not going to. You know why? That's why he give us 5 senses. He give us 5 senses to learn to rationalize things, work out things, and fit things, compromise, and all of that. So Jesus would have never come and change your mind on it. He's just going to.
It's not wrong if 2 persons join in their life together and those compromise was set before the marriage. Then you have to honor it.
It's not wrong, Alicia. But where it is wrong is after the honeymoon phase, you still think that you could live 50 years of marriage happily ever after with those do's and don'ts.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Mr. Beaton would tell you, he wouldn't say to me, babes, the bath. And that's what I like, because he wouldn't dare come and say to me, babes, the bathroom, you know, need cleaning. That's one thing.
Sister Alicia.
Mr. Beaton in the bathroom.
Patrick. Sister Alicia, 1 sec. Sister Alicia, 1 second. Patrick is saying you don't clean the fish before you catch it.
I think Patrick sums it up well, right? And as Mr. Beaton get ready to speak, I'm saying
Not Mr. Beaton, Mr. Kirchman.
Mr. Kirchman, sorry, yes. I'm saying this, marriage is to build. It's to build a life. And some of those do's and don'ts are the pillar that build marriages, right? Some of those do's and don'ts. I'm gonna tell you this. If me I get married to a woman, know that I'm older and understand life, and she go and tell me them do's and don'ts, I go and tell her, don't move a Muslim, soon come back. And she nah go see me come back.
Journal, why?
Because worse if I don't have money to pay a helper to press my shirt.
Yeah, but why? This is the thing I don't understand. Why men now these days tell themselves that a wife have to cook, clean,
No, it's not, man. Alicia.
It's compromise.
Alicia.
And if I said I don't earn and do this and don't do that, then I would do the rest. Then you as a husband or a partner fit in right there.
All right. So may I ask you, apart from the do's and the don'ts, what are the will and will do?
No, I would cook, I would clean, but I just don't clean the bathroom, because when it comes to, when it comes to bleach and so on, I'm talking about literally scrubbing the bathroom. Because when it comes to the household products that you normally use, the chemical, it normally affect my sinus. So I don't. I rather pay somebody to get it done than have to go pay a doctor to get it done.
Your mom said, Pastor, you're right. Do and don't me gone too, because I have choices.
Alicia,
Now,
right?
if I was a man and I'm heading in a relationship, and the first thing the lady say, well, if you say iron, I'm gonna say divorce. I'm gonna take it as a joke, because I never know that relationship could break up because of that. So I would literally take it as a joke, right?
No. Listen to me. At the time when he asked, it was like 2 or 3 years down the marriage. And I literally said to him, you're asking for divorce or what? That's what I said to him. I kind of tried to remind him about the conversation we had when we started courting. But literally, I wasn't serious, but I still wasn't going to do it. I have a choice to say no, because it's something I really don't like. And that is what I keep saying. If you cannot compromise on certain things in a marriage, some people just don't like ironing clothes, and some people just don't like.
I understand that.
But that is where you compromise.
We are not saying anything wrong with what you put your do's and don'ts on, you know. What we're saying is the regimentness of your do's and don'ts, right? Because I'm gonna tell you this. You see, I am really praying and open that marriage folks right now have the pen and the paper in their hand and take down some of the things that been said here. Why? They're going to need it. They're going to need it. You hear me talk about when time me get married, me think say, me gonna live happily ever after. Papa Jesus, the first time me gonna get married, me bridging them attack and me say, oh, night and day, me gonna panic. Night and day. Sometimes you don't even want to see it. It's reality speaking. Things change. And as people get mature, people realize that what I signed up to verbally, it wasn't the right thing. So we have to go back to the drawing board and discuss some things and deal with some things. There are some fundamental values of marriage that those pillars of do's and don'ts can damage, right? Now, you said about the bathroom, you're allergic to certain detergent. That is understandable. That is understandable. But you have some woman who are allergic to nothing, I'm going to expect, say, let me tell you this. So you have some woman take man for boy in the house. You have some woman feel say them are wear the underpants and them are stand up on pee.
I think Mr. Kirchman is ready, sir. I think he's ready.
Yeah, no, it's reality, no. It's reality, right? I'm not saying you, Alicia, but that's why I say I hope that married people taking a listen right here, right? Because I know the both of you love each other. That's why you go on the altar. I know you would not go on the altar if you know you're just going to separate later on. It must have been something. There are some married couple out there right now. The things the woman expect of the man and the things the man expect of the woman, it is unheard of, right?
Yeah, but
and the marriage can't survive.
Journal, that's the thing.
Mr. Kirchman, after this,
when you have one partner, like you say, the wife expects certain things from a husband and the husband expects certain things from a wife. But then what you don't understand, that most relationship today, everybody, especially when you're married, everybody just think about sex. But then there's a breakdown in communication, there's a breakdown in understanding, there's a breakdown in compromise, and there's a breakdown in trust. For me, I always say, sex is number 5 for me in a relationship. You have to have that communication, that understanding, that trust, and that compromise before the sex. Because when I done sex, what happened?
Compromise?
But then you have most married couples do not like to compromise. Most people in the world do not like to compromise. You know, so you would always find one partner or one party giving more than the other. And I always say, a relationship have to be 50-50. If it's not 50-50, then listen, I am not accepting no 20-40 or no 20-60 or no 80-20. It have to be 50-50, because at one point in time, you're gonna have one partner or one party is feeling that, listen, it's just too much for me to carry. And that is what most people do not understand when they're getting into a relationship. They still have this thing, me. Like, listen, my husband does say, I just like how you just say we. I always say, Mr. Beaton, we need to get up early tomorrow. Mr. Beaton, we need to do this. And he normally said to me, why everything or everywhere you go, you want me to go, or everything you involve us? And I always say to him, because listen, when we get joined, the Bible didn't say we become you and me, or we become two. It said we become one. So it's always about we. And sometimes he himself can't understand. And he normally say, you know what? I like how you just say, just we all the time. If I have to cook, I want Mr. Beaton to be there helping me. Sometimes he always say to me, why you can't cook a food 100%? And I normally say to him, it's better when you're in the kitchen with me and you cut up the seasoning and I am doing the cooking. You do the preparation, I do the cooking. And we both there together, just enjoying each other. At the time when we're doing stuff, we can talk. You find times to do things together, and that's what people don't understand. The more time you find a married couple apart, it's a disaster waiting to happen. So if you find that time to communicate and do things with each other and enjoy doing it, then you have that connection, because you're always talking. And then, when you go upstairs, then you have your time for that me time, put it that way. But
So what if
no
you don't?
one wants to compromise when they get in a marriage. Everybody wants, okay, I'm your wife or I'm your husband, you're supposed to do this, and this. No, that's the marriage that people want today. Nobody wants to. Men nowadays, they tell themselves, okay, when I'm married, my wife got to cook, she got to clean, she got to do this. That's not a marriage. That is a state.
Okay, just one moment. Mr. Kirchman, he have to go momentarily.
Yes.
So if he can put in his words now, yes, so you could go ahead, Mr. Kirchman.
Mr. Kirchman, we have heard from...
That's a lot to digest. Wow. Well, let's start off by saying that she has been on the point with everything she said. Not only she lied about anything, she have a lot of don'ts and don'ts. But, when we first met, can you believe she actually ironed every piece of clothes I had?
That's not true. That's not true.
I couldn't believe it.
That's not true.
Anyhow, enough jokes. Yeah, she doesn't like ironing, and there's a few things she doesn't like. So, I it was hard for me as being her husband, doing outside work, the yard, and then having to come upstairs and do the bathroom because she don't like the bath.
But I'm cutting you, Mr. Kirchman. The plant. You put out all the flower plant because you didn't want to clean the yard.
Huh?
Don't do that, baby.
Oh, what is that? She don't want to go outside. She don't want to.
Alicia, 1 second.
Favorite fruit.
1 second. Alicia, I'm going to ask you to keep your mic mute. Let Mr. Kirchman speak. Across you.
Yeah, man. Let me tell you something. We had a good relationship and stuff, and we still don't have a good relationship. Even though there were some past failures, and we've learned to move past that, and to acknowledge where we went wrong, and where we can keep a good relationship, especially where she's moved on, I've moved on, and that we have a son together. And that's very important to me. Our son, health, well-being is number one. And I'm not really worried about the other stuff, but he's first. I look at life quite differently because I'm very close with her and Mr. Beaton. Mr. Beaton he's been around for quite some time, and we get along very well. And I appreciate that. I call him my brother. He's from another mother, but he's my brother. He takes care of my son like he's his own child. And I respect him for that. I mean, when I'm thinking, boy, what's going on, and I know for sure that he has his interest at heart. So I don't have to worry about Jeremiah when he's with them, and I don't think she worries about Jeremiah when he's with me. Jeremiah is right here now, right here, sitting down right here next to us while we're having this meeting. But
Hi,
like
Jeremiah.
he's right. Jeremiah, you know how no shut on. He just relaxing, leave him alone. He right there. So like I said, we have a good relationship, and it's not about who's right, who's wrong. It's all about working together as parents, learning to be as a team, regardless of where we are or where place we are. We work together as one, and that's just how I see it. Right there, let me see you.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, I mean, when Alicia break the news to you that y'all divorced, y'all living there, but when she break the news to you, that she finds somebody and all of that, I mean, how was that? I mean, the both of you in the same house, right? I mean,
let me tell you something. I was a happy person, you know that? Because I want to see her happy. I couldn't give her the happiness that she has now. And I'm so happy that she's happy. And if I couldn't make her happy and she found happiness somewhere else, I am so happy for her. That's just how I see it. I'm not a selfish person. And she have a great husband. You know, she picked the right guy. You know, I'm like so happy for her.
You see, I mean, it is amazing that you said that. It take a real man to talk these truth, especially in the face of the world, right? Because some guys, I'm telling you, it would be hell and powder house. Me can't talk. Me know one man right now named Jerry. If I did ever him, some people would have to run, you know. I tell you that straight, you know. Yeah, you would have to do that behind my back. You can't come. No, me I tell him, you know, I youth named Jerry. I saw him stay, right? But maturity causes you to deal with these things. You said the number one answer there. You want her to be happy. And if you could make her happy and she find happiness, you're happy for her. Poopa Jesus. I tell you, if you could have pushed me through the screen, me shake your hand right there. So. Because I
can still push my hand. Yes.
Social distance.
Yes, man.
A lot of people out there right now need to understand that, because there's a lot of people still tied up in marriage right now and they are not happy. And then no say, then now make the other spouse happy. And they would have dead for saying, no, you go on your way and make me go on my way. And we all wrap it up in the name of Jesus and Christianity, right? We wrap it up in the name of Jesus and Christianity. And we are got dead, God, heaven, sad, broken, and disgusting, right? We're not going to enjoy the life. We're going to go to with it, drop out. And we're not going to enjoy the life and all of these things. I mean, trust me, I respect you more on that one answer, right? So I have another question to ask you. When you meet Mr. Beaton, and then realize that there were teenagers growing up together in Guyana, and yes, we have some Guyanese people here as well. Richmond Lee, from over there, up there in Guyana, they are here with us right now. Richmond Lee, Neville Lee, and the whole Lee family, they are here, right? But you meet Mr. Beaton, you know you have a son, and now this is another man going in the life of your son. What was I'm asking you all this because we know how we men think. We know how we men think, right? I mean, you never see Mr. Beaton from him born. You just meet him now as Alicia's fiance, man where she ever get married to, and your son gonna be a part of this. What was your headspace like?
Well, at first, you know, I'm going to sit down here and not lie to nobody. I said, look, that is my replacement. And I said, what? It's a good replacement, because if I'm not around, that's the person I want to look after my child. Because the temperament that he has, and he's so humble. And I'm like, yo, this is the man that's going to raise my son with good principles. If I can't give him that, I know for sure somebody else out there can. And I know that he can do it.
What may I tell you, when me get older, me want to be like you, Rasta? May I tell you the truth? No, your answers are perfect. And this is helping people. This is helping people. Because you know what? You know what I worry about my children? The next person that coming in their life. They must stop me, not below. They must stop me. When my children look at them and me, they're not supposed to look at them in disgust. They're not supposed to know it's reality. So when you say right now that this is your replacement and is the perfect person you'd want to raise your child, it is saying a lot. And I know you're not just saying it because Mr. Beaton here, because I know you. You're a man with your mouth now no cover.
That's right. And I will tell you.
I know you're going to talk it like it is. Right?
But
no, it's reality. And I know you think like that. So I mean, hats off to the answer. Now, when you start, when you find Miss Spanish and start learn to understand, to tell her I love you and like you like that in Spanish. And then how did Alicia find out? You tell her I don't know. That's why I'm fasting on the business right now.
We had a communicate. We had a how should I say? I spoke to her, tell her that I met somebody. The first thing came out of her mouth, I am happy for you. That's what she said. That's exactly what she said. I am happy for you. I'm so happy for you.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, she said, well, I want to see her. I want to know who she is because I want to see who she is before I introduce her to Jeremiah, and she wants to make sure that she's a woman that can take care of her when she's not around, take care of him when she's not around. And she did that. She sat down and she had a long conversation talking about the sky is blue and the sea is blue and all kinds of stuff. She was very detailed. You know how a mother loves that child?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. She's very protective. She's like a setting hand, you know, covering her cheeks, and you can't go near because she'll bite you. That's how she was, you know. But she did it in a polite way, and she was very professional when she spoke to Mariana and talked to her and explained to her how she wants, you know, she don't want to confusion with my son, and she want to make sure that she's the perfect person for, you know, that kind of way, to be a role model for her son.
I believe I'm throwing this to my producer, or Thursday night, a Topic Live producer. You know, not saying she have to do it, but I'm just throwing in this that the next episode with this, I believe you need to invite Patrick. Patrick sounds like a well-rounded counselor and a man with experience in these things. You know, I'm just saying, you know, you don't have to listen to me. I'm just saying, you know, right? But Darren, for Alicia to say to you, the first thing, she's happy for you. And the second thing she says, she would like to meet her. Hats off to you, Alicia. Right? And I'm going to tell you why. Those are the important pillars in bringing step parents into a child life. You have some people who know how to introduce them pitney to step parents. And when the child frown, then lick down, kick down the pitney and say the pitney have no manners and all of these other things. How you feel that you can just take up a man and a woman and drop in a child life and the child must accept it because union parent. It's unrealistic. You see what I'm saying? And some step parents step in and want to be daddy or mommy too soon and turn off the child. The child don't get to know them. They don't get to know the child, but they want to tell the child, you know, your mother said don't put on that shoes and all of these things. Go and go be it now. Not picking no why here. I don't know you. Take time. So it's always good for step parents until that relationship is developed. It's always good for step parents to allow the parent to take the lead. Not try to rush it and be daddy and mommy too fast. So the both of you started out on the right ground. So now my producer can understand why is it now when Alicia spoke the first, you know, she was busted after you spoke, Alicia.
I couldn't wrap my head around it. I really couldn't wrap my head around it because I'm like, I've never heard of situations like this. Living in the same house with an ex-husband and married to someone else. Like, I could not wrap my head. And it was like a mini counseling session that she was having. I'm like, no, man, this is not for real. I would love for us to have all of them on a set. I'm telling you, from last year, I've been waiting, but sitting here and listening to your approach and her approach is like, it's absolutely amazing. Because these things really, they don't happen. I can say for myself, hats off to you, Sister Alicia. I guess I realized now that it wasn't the right thing. But I remember when my ex-husband called me one day and say, you know, I'm going to get remarried and I want you to meet my fiance. And I'm thinking, he and I, we don't really get along, right? We don't really get along because when I try to be civil, he wants to pass his place. So I just stay away, right? For peace sake, right? So for peace sake, so I'm thinking, as long as it's not somebody who is going to hurt my children in any way, I don't have to meet them. As long as whoever you pick, whoever you choose, does not hurt my children, can be a good stepmother to my children, that's all that matters. Because for me, I do not believe in one parent keeping the children away from the other parent just because their relationship didn't work out. But I just didn't want to be in the same space with him because it's not like that kind of thing. I just stay away. Just like that. So it turns out that she's a very nice person. She would come to do pickup, say hello, chit chat with her, whatever. If my children, they're going there, I don't mind calling on the phone or whatever. But that first initial stand is like, no, I'm not interested in whatever you do with your life, really. But I'm just saying, as long as this person will treat my children well, because if they don't, then she's just gonna have to answer to me. So listening to you now, I can tell, well, that was not the best approach. No, but so far it has worked out. It has worked out fine.
No, I'm telling you, this is just the surface of we talking about hurting wife, broken husband, because we don't get into none of that yet, right? So we really would like to come with the next episode. And I'm seeing Reverend Patrick is a pastor. He said that he's Alicia's pastor, right? I could tell the level of wisdom in the typing. I could tell that, right? But
sorry for interrupting. Mr. Kirchman have to leave in 5 minutes. So when you see them exit is because they really have to go.
Before you go, Mr. Kirchman, two things I want you to do. I want your wife to talk her piece coming into your life. She can just do it quick because you all will be coming back, Mr. Kirchman. Can you agree, like when you just meet Alicia and you agree on some stuff, can you agree that the next available Thursday you let us know so we can,
week after next week. Week after
Thursday,
next week. Week after next week.
Week after next week, Thursday, good for you?
Yeah, it all depends on what time. I have a disaster meeting.
That's the 30th. September 30th.
It's always at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
It's always
I'll be finished by 8.
Pardon?
I'll be finished by 8.
So it will be 7 o'clock your time.
My time?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
because you guys are 1 hour behind us.
Yeah. 7:30 is the meeting start over here.
Your meeting start at 7:30.
Okay, so we'll work it out off air, not to worry.
Okay,
we'll work it out off air.
But we will come with a part 2, and I would love Reverend Patrick to be here. So, yes. Mrs. Kirchman, you now been approached by this handsome hunk of flesh and tell you, I don't know how you understand him, tell you, he must can't speak Spanish or something, and then tell you that he's divorced and he have a child, right? And he has his child mother is a crazy short woman right? And all of them things. What was your take stepping into this? In short, because I know you all have to leave soon.
What you thought when you come and talk to you?
Well, the first time I talked with her on the phone, and me and him had some issue, and when she called me, and I get surprised when she say it's Mr. Darren ex-wife, and I surprised. I say, what happened? But only that when she start talk, I don't know how she understand me because I don't speak good English, but she understand everything.
I
And
thought her well.
Yeah, and we talk about the situation, and she said to me, don't worry, soon I'm going to meet you and we continue to talk. And the second time when I saw her, I feel like shame, you know, but I feel comfortable how she talked to me because she talked clear. And let me tell you something. I did nothing difficult for her fix because she fixed that situation.
Wow.
She fixed that situation. And when something happened, just I had to call her or tell him I go and call somebody and he know who that person I go and call.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
We look forward to hear more from you when you come next. Because
Yeah,
I'm
so happy because she's my family. I'm in the family, you know. His son is my son, and we have a good relationship. And she, you know, she's like my sister, like my mom, like my good friend.
Wow.
I call her, and she ordered it for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, may I tell you, yeah, use some strong words, you know, sister, family, friend,
Yeah.
counselor. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Them things that possible in this age and time. Boy, I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to hear more from you and Darren when you come back. As the topic, the pick, hurting wife, broken husband. We want to hear some of the down moments during the marriage that cause you hurting, Alicia and Darren, some of the moments when you are broken, because it must get to them two places for it to reach to the point of divorce, right? We understand that you all might have to leave just now, but we'll hear more from Mrs. I tell you, you hear what she said, Altia? You hear what she said? She had a problem.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and is our ex-mate to fix it?
Yes.
Why is it that Beanie Man tells such a lie? Beanie Man say, matey, I'm a good sitting. When matey pass, a lie, I'm telling you. A lie, I'm going to tell. I'm never going to call him and tell him, say, a lie, I'm going to tell. Yeah?
It's amazing.
It's amazing. People need to understand that people can live like this. It is for real people. Because some of the things we want to get into is some of the bumps that your marriage experience that help push things apart. Yeah? Right? Some of the bumps, right? Yeah,
hey, Mr. Kirchman, thank you for coming. Thank you so very much for coming, both of you.
Put your hands together.
All right, take care.
Mr. and Mrs. Kirchman.
Yes.
Yes.
Get y'all later.
Bless
Good
up,
night.
bless up. Yes, man. One love to the world. Yeah. Boy,
before you go further, sir, do you mind if I just get some of the stuff that are in chat?
Yes, man, because Mr. Pastor Beaton going to talk next.
Okay.
Yes, man.
All right. So, Pastor, now we know he's a pastor, Pastor Patrick. He was saying, what are the fundamentals for a happy marriage? That was one of the things. You can think about the answer for that. Sister Joan Clark is saying this is really hot topic, bad. Yes. Pastor Patrick said those were love talk, and you know it's what basically what they were talking about earlier. Sister Gracelyn said, listen to me, do and don't will get me very frustrated after a while and the quarrel will start. Pastor Patrick said marriage works best with 200%. Yes. Sister Grayson said, you try right there. Sex is at top for me because after a good sex, everything else will fit. in love, understanding, compromising, etc. Your mom is not easy at all. Pastor Patrick said one must understand the divine order of God. Yes. Sister Gracelyn said, hello, stop right there. My husband and I are apart and is not any disaster. It makes it more spicy whenever we get together. All right. And then she said, Alicia, stay quiet. That man wasn't interrupting you. Oh my goodness. Yes, let's see. Darren was happy after the facts. Yes, Pastor Patrick is saying hats off. SC from over YouTube is saying it's commendable that they both were happy for each other. It sure is. Yes, Sister Grayson said, y'all better leave Patrick out. He don't play. Very straight up. Yes. Sister Joan Clark is saying so true. It's not everybody could do that. Hats off to all four of them. Yes. Gloria Miller is saying depopulation should not be the... Okay, so that's just a spam there. Have absolutely nothing to do with what we're saying. All right, so I'll just block this one here. Okay, so you could go ahead, sir.
Yeah, it's amazing. I talk to my brother-in-law now. Pastor Beaton. So Pastor Beaton, you meet this nice, short chocolate, as you call her, young lady, and you all know each other because you've been in Guyana, the both of you from Guyana, and never thought you'd ever glimpse her again. And I listen clean when people talking, me around the town I hear the talk. Right, and to the look at look at things, knowing each other from back then, you are probably thinking in your mind that that could have been the man who I want married to, and that could have been the woman who I want married to, and all sort of thing. And then years after, the two go around Jericho wall, and the wall drop down, and then start look at each other, and then in the bam get together. Now you hear she say she's divorced, and she still live in the same house with the ex-husband. Now, I know you're not Jesus. But she said she living at the same house with her ex-husband, right? I mean, I have an ex-girlfriend. I have an ex-girlfriend. And while me and them are date, right? Me I call them on the way home and them tell me, say, them in their ex-boyfriend vehicle. I go down the road. I mean, turn my vehicle in front of that and take them out, Yeah, that was when I was just Jerry. You see what I'm saying? I'm saved now. I'm sanctified. And I'm Holy Ghost filled. Me not think me would have do that no more. Me don't know what me would have do. Me don't know probably tie film truck and film one and dry it where I would never sleep and I move the bed. Me don't know what me would have do now. Right? But Mr. Beaton, you hear she say, she divorced but living at the same house with the ex. I would have first asked her how long ago, right? What was your thought process, Pastor Beaton?
First, I was a little skeptical about the whole situation, but after a while, continue talking to her. Basically, I realized certain things, and I don't want to watch at things in a negative way. And after she gave me all assurance that no crookishness is going on within the house there, still, like a little...
No crookishness, because write down that word there for me. Write down that word there for me, because no crookishness. I like that. Write that down for me. I am going to print a shirt. No crookishness.
Yeah, so one thing leads to the other. And as we get to talk more and more, I realize that she is a sincere person with what she's saying. And I trust her on that, because if I decide to think negative, my mind or my thoughts can go elsewhere. So I just focus on just the positive.
That is important, and a lot of people can't do that. I tell people all the time, every human being have a map. And if you know how to read that map, what to look for, you put your mind at rest. because if meeting upon her should display certain principles and certain good behaving characteristics, it gives you no grounds not to trust her, right? Now, you said something that is so important. Think on the positive. And the Bible teaches that. Because our mind can tell us something, you know. Mr. Beaton, me have girlfriend already. But tell me, say, then they are then granny, a thing pan tree, and then granny, then they fit you, you know. But Mr. Beaton, my mind see them in the man car, gone in the hotel with the man. My mind show me all of that. The color clothes them have on. My mind show me all of that, you know. The position and pose. My mind show me all of that, you know, Mr. Beaton. And only if you understand, say, a granny should have you. Reality. That is why people wonder now, how comes I don't have trust issue? It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Because you just have to tell yourself, if you don't have evidence and reason, it don't make sense you wonder. Because something your mind can wonder some things and it look like reality, right? So after you understand that, you start trusting her, and you realize now that you have to stay up in the US and she have to stay in Cayman, even after you're married. And you know, say, a blood run through the brother, and blood run through she. What are the, I know you say you think on the positive, but there must be something about our character that cause you to block out all the possibilities of what could have been happening right there. Because I care how two people say they're mad at each other. In Jamaica, we have a saying, "Old fire stick easy if you catch." Right?
True.
Yeah, we have a saying, "Old fire stick easy if you catch." It must be something. I really go into this point because I want people to learn that when people display certain character to you, you supposed to stride on the character. When people prove to you without proving, yeah, just by the way they live their life, right? To say to you that this is who I am. You're not supposed to give yourself unnecessary thought process and mash up a good thing. So what was that thing about Alicia's character that cement your trust?
Basically, she have a selfless character. And by talking to her, like she was speaking from her heart, and certain things that she told me about herself, right? At one point, it come to my mind, and I say it to myself, this is a unique person. And also, why is it that she have a principle about herself, and basically is like, I'm finding a word, unique, fine. But at the time when she was speaking to me, right, I could see certain things in her, certain characteristic in her. And also is that I promise her that what she is doing right now, I don't want even to say that I'm going to try to change this woman or try to get into her head. No. I just turn and tell her that whatever you're doing, just continue doing it.
Wow. That's once again, that's very admirable. What would you say to someone, Mr. Beaton, who is currently in a relationship, but they're having trust issue? Because there was this gentleman who has now passed. He was coming to my church and he say, a thing looks like a thing, but it's not a thing. So to the people in Cayman, 1 second, Pastor Redeem, the people in Cayman, to them, they see Alicia still living with Mr. Kirchman. It looks like something, but in essence, it was not a relationship like what it looks like. how would you speak to someone who is having a trust issue in their relationship? Because a lot of times relationship breaks down because of trust, distrust.
I mean, you just get a lot of time when people might see things, or they're just trying for like mess with your head and trying to throw stones basically and say this and say that. But if you just focus on the positive thing, because I am a person, I don't like dwell on negative stuff. I always like to look at the positive. But I might have been wrong in the past, because for me, you find most of my time back in the past, I just was a workaholic and just was trying to look after my family. But then it come to like a trust issue, and I never really like take it till basically me was like the last person to know. And I was like upset at first, but after time, I pray to God, ask for forgiveness, and just move on. But you find with Alicia, I mean, something about her that I can't really explain. As a person, I just always tell her she is like 1 in a billion from planet Earth.
Yeah, I always hear you say that to her. Before we go any further, I hear Grisling saying that she gone because she not hear nothing but hurting and broken. Now, people must, we want persons to understand this. We couldn't start this program tonight and just go into hurting and broken. It would be chaos. You have to first go from when it started to trace and find where the breakdown start to where it end up in divorce and into a next marriage. And then we can now come and talk about the hurting and the broken, because the hurting and the broken is what going to help other persons to get past their present stuff, right? We have to lay a foundation. We have to set a platform. And that is why it's not every preacher really intrigued me. A preacher will just come and take a Bible and go, boom, and Peter chop off a man ears, and all of them things. No, you have to take me through the process. I like watch it like a movie. So that is why you're not hearing much about broken and hurting. We purposely not going there yet. That's why we asked for a next episode. See what I'm saying? Yes, back over to you, Minister God.
Yes. They have a saying that, and we have to wrap up. It's 3 minutes to 10. They have a saying that your word is your bond. And it is very important that when we say something, there is integrity to back what we say. So therefore, certain things would not be questionable. So that's basically what I'm seeing when Mr. Beaton is speaking about Alicia and her character and stuff like that. Because if your character had said otherwise, then there would definitely have been a trust issue, right?
It's reality with that. A lot of people right now doing this program are in a marriage that they really want to get out of. There is nothing going on for it. The disrespect, the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 11th, 12th party that influxed the marriage, and it's like they can't breathe. The husband treating wife like a doormat, wife treating husband like a piece of board, all kind of things. There's a lot of things happening there. A lot of people would they are still together, but they are divorced in their mind. A lot of people married and still living single. A lot of people out there doing a lot of things that cause the marriage to break down to no point of return. They're just going through the rituals, staying together, sleeping together. Some people in the same house, sleeping in different rooms, all kind of things. We want persons to know that when we come with a topic, we know what we're trying to pull from the topic, but we're not just going to rush into the topic. Why? We want to lay a foundation and a platform. Here you just had two couples, right, that was married together, divorced, and married again, but yet still they are living a better life as friends than what they used to live as married couple. Yet still they respect each other more than when they were in the marriage. I'm saying to us, it's time we realize that on a same day leaf drop in the water, it rotten. Something builds up, something, there is a breaking point, there is a turning point, but we still can do it with love and respect. Now, I just leave Atlanta, staying with the Beatons there, and I can tell you, one can pretend so far and no further. But I can tell you for them, the love is natural. Hello, Mr. Beaton don't give my sister a second to look after our brother. I tell you the dead truth. I tell you one of the best brother-in-law I ever get in my life. Yeah? Trust me. He don't give her a chance to ask me what I want to eat, drink, or nothing. In fact, when I pull up at the door and I take out my suitcase, I don't even know where I'm going with it. He just go upstairs, bam, 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 and tell me, say, your room up there ready for you. You see what I'm saying? No, I don't hear her grumbling one bit in the house and say, I'm miserable. No, always happy to dog. And in Poilar, for the time me dead, I must have one time I see she go in the kitchen, go turn on stove, and him do all of the cooking, and him do it without pressure. She not put no gun on her head. I'm telling you, the life that they're living is natural. It's just as they are saying. It's not forced. And I'm taking the example from it. I'm taking serious example because you know what? We men don't have much role models. We don't have much role models. We don't. So when we find a brother that can be a role model, we must take it and talk about it and live it. The way I see him live, I'm trying. I'm telling you, it's hard enough. It's hard, but me I try. Yeah, for him it look easy. And I think one of the things that help him is his farmer job. I believe the training to become a police and work police all the years, it trains you to a point. Because I want him to tell you, in sharp like a Gillette, I think him press all in shoes too. I honestly think him press in shoes too. Sharp like a Gillette. So, I mean, tonight we know it's just touching the surface. It's just touching the surface. And we will come back with part 2. And the areas we want to look at in part 2 is the turbulence that hit the marriage, Alicia, when you guys were together. You're Mr. Kirchman. The turbulence, whether it be the in-law turbulence, whether it be the finance turbulence, whether it be the lack of sex turbulence, whether it be whatever turbulence that hit the marriage, that start the breakdown. I know you spoke of the do's and don'ts and that him come back and come up against his own word and promise and breaking his promise. I know you talk about that, right? I know you talk about the infidelity and all of that, but even after the infidelity, you were still in the marriage. You were still trying to work at it, right? We want to talk about some of the little things that come.
Is it my internet? I think Pastor has frozen. So yes, we will talk about some of the things that cause the hurt, some of the things that cause the pain next time around. Yes, because we are interested to know that how you get past all that stuff to be where you are today. It is, yes, Pastor is totally frozen. His internet, there is an issue there, but not to worry. Yes, so we will conclude this next time around. This is a great topic. Once again, there are a lot of people who are going through marital issues, and they could glean from this. They could learn a lot from it to see how you get past certain things. There are a lot of people who have been separated, who have been divorced, but they're still bitter at each other. They're still not having any common grounds when it comes to raising their children, you know, when it comes to, because some people, there are ladies who will say, you know what, they're not going to let the children see the father because relationship didn't work out, right? So you guys could definitely shed some light some more on these things and encourage people, because there are lots of hurting people out there, and sometimes people are not getting good advice. They're not seeing great relationships to glean from, and they basically give what they know. And the way how they choose what they know might not necessarily be the right way, the right thing to do, right? But it has been a great session. And Sister Alicia, I know you will work on, you know, the next meeting. I know you will. So you got that like that. But I just want to say thank you so very much for being here with us tonight, each and every person who signed in. Thank you for staying with us tonight with this topic, hurting wife, broken husband. If there was not hurt, if there was not some kind of brokenness, there would have been no divorce, right? So the topic speak for itself. Thank you to Pastor Redeem, who is the founder, yes, of Thursday Night Hot Topic Live. Yes. And every time God put these things in his spirit, whichever way he's back, he just give himself to God and come out with these things, because you know what, these programs really help people who are struggling in their relationship. Pastor Redeem, I was just closing off, so you could just say your final words, sir, and we go out of here. It's after 10 o'clock. Thank you, SC. Sorry, sir. SC saying excellent program. Blessings to all. Thank you so very much, and thanks for tuning in over there on YouTube.
I just want to say that we are going to be doing this program every other Thursday night. So we are going to work out the logistics with Mr. Kirchman and see if the next time he will be able to be on. If not, we're coming up with something else great, just as much, right? I wanted to know that it's full-time marriages start receive healing, and it's full-time people started to live a true married life. I believe there are happy married couples out there. I believe marriage is one of the best things could ever happen to two human beings. I believe that though you may never see your parents' marriage work out and all of that, you don't have to be afraid of it. You just need to correct certain things that you see gone wrong. And when you step into marriage, you endeavor. I believe marriage is where you go to give. And if two parties come together to give, then you will not have the strain of one party feel exhausted that they are giving more than the next. Elisa said she believes in 50-50. I believe in 100-100. I believe everybody's supposed to go to marriage and give 100% of themselves, nothing reserved, because the two become one. And I believe that the next time this program comes around, oh my God, a lot of people are going to be helped. Yes, we're thinking to do, I was talking to Pastor Johnson this evening, that we're going to be doing one of first workshop. We're just working through the logistics to set the dates and everything. We just talk about it tonight, because physically we used to host one of the largest marriage and singles retreat in the Caribbean to have and to hold. We used to do it at over there in St. Kitts and Nevis, and we are going to be doing that on virtual. So we're going to be setting the date, setting the time, and we're going to tell you what to do to get in, how to register, and all of these things. I believe it is needed. So if tonight you are here married and your marriage is going through some stuff, you can pick something out of this. Even before you hear she talk about her hurt and he spoke about his broken, you can pick a lot from what he said tonight and start to put your marriage on the road to repair. Yes, you may say to me that my marriage is quite fine. Yes, it can get better up. It can be better up. Yes, and one of the perfect example we have is sitting right here with us tonight is Mr. and Mrs. Beaton, because I know firsthand. When you have to guess, I don't have to guess. I know them firsthand, and I know that everything that they're saying is true. I know he accepts her with her do's and her don'ts, and he's not in any regrets, right? And I know, don't trust me. I'm telling you, there are something else. You hear she talk about the we. I heard it, right? So it's just a blessing tonight, and I'm just happy for this program. We must have Pastor Patrick. I'm telling you, I sense something deep, and I'm not just saying that. You don't see me pick out nobody on Thursday night at Topic Live and invite them on that discreet way to my producer, like I'm saying, make a phone call, not saying that, but like I'm saying, make a phone call, so over to you, Althea. Yes, and thanks to everyone.
Yes. All right. Once again, thank you so very much for joining us on YouTube, on Facebook. Yes, we appreciate you coming, and you have yourself a wonderful night. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Beaton, and thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Kirchman. It was a great night. I'm telling you, I have waited since early 2020, and I am blown away. I am truly blown away, and it's great. God bless you all. Sister Mitch, sir, your daughter just stepped in, and from she come in, pure trouble. All right, remember tomorrow morning, Jumpstart. God bless you all. Have a wonderful night.